I have had multiple people ask me my thoughts on EveryDollar, so I thought it about time that I compare EveryDollar to Good Budget. Today is going to be probably a part one, where I'm going to go over 4 key differences between the EveryDollar platform and the Good Budget platform, and ultimately what my thought on each of those differences are. I'm Garrett Weldon, and this is my channel where we talk about personal finance and what I'm learning in business. First is their philosophy of what is income, or how you bring money into the platform. We have EveryDollar on the left and Good Budget on the right. And when we're talking about their income, there's some key differences that we need to be aware of. On EveryDollar, your income has to be tied to a paycheck. The assumption here is that you're a W-2 employee, and the only way in which you get paid is through a paycheck. It does not allow the flexibility, at least in an easy fashion, to tag income to 1099 employment or a side hustle or a gift or a stimulus check. It is all tied to a paycheck. You have to input what you believe your paycheck is going to be and then reconcile it once it comes in. Compare that to Good Budget, and income is identified as a simple transaction. You come in here, income, who it's from, and the amount, and you're good to go. Whether it's W-2, 1099, side hustle money, even money from babysitting a kid, it doesn't matter. You can identify it as income within Good Budget. So why does this matter? With EveryDollar, it makes you pontificate into the future to identify exactly what you think you're going to get and set that up as your paychecks. We know months change, we know income change, and unless you are that box where your income is only associated with W-2 employment, it turns out it's just not flexible enough. Compare that to Good Budget. It lets you explore the vastness and the depth of all the different types of income that you can experience within your household budget. And that's the way I like to think of things. When you have money coming into your checking or to your savings account, it's income. It's not always tied to a paycheck. So the philosophy of how they view income right off the bat starts differently. One way to look at it is EveryDollar is almost tied so tightly to a W-2 employment that if you ever actually do anything else outside of W-2 employment, or eventually get out of debt, if you're following Dave Ramsey's baby steps past step number 2, then it starts to fall apart in its functionality, with one of the big ways is how and their philosophy of income. Item number 2 even gets more interesting. It's what money you're actually budgeting. With EveryDollar, since you're inputting your paychecks and you have to input what you think you're going to receive, what you're actually budgeting on a month-to-month basis is the income you think you're going to get. Said another way, you have a pot of money that you are planning to receive, and you assign envelopes to that pot of money, and you fill the envelopes at the beginning of the month with money you have not yet received. With Good Budget, it is entirely different. You can only budget money once it has been received. If you receive a paycheck or you receive a 1099 payment for $1,000 and that's what you've pulled out, you put that in your checking account, then you can go about budgeting that money. Never do you have the option in Good Budget to budget with money that you do not yet have. Whereas EveryDollar is built on the foundation that you're budgeting money you do not yet have but intend to or hope to receive during that month. So with EveryDollar, you can start spending money at the beginning of the month with money that has not yet come into your checking account. You can get into some reconciliation problems if that happens to you and you are riding razor thin in your checking account. You could look at your EveryDollar app and see that your envelopes say you have money, but the money from your paycheck has not yet arrived into your account. This is a problem. This is something that I do not agree with, using money you don't yet have. Good Budget takes care of that. You can only budget money that you have. It can only go into your envelopes once you have it. Let me show you what I mean. So over here on EveryDollar, for example, if you're anticipating $4,800 in the month, look, each of your envelopes, even though you've received 0, says you have that money available and ready for spending. As opposed to Good Budget, where if you do not have money, you come to fill your envelopes. If you do not have money available to fill your envelopes, 0, you cannot input money into your envelopes because you do not have money to fill your envelopes with. All right, we're on to item number 3. Item number 3 can be so very, very frustrating if you are an individual that uses any type of credit cards within your day-to-day transactions. In Dave Ramsey's app, or EveryDollar, credit cards can only be viewed as debt and something that should not be utilized. Whereas in Good Budget, a credit card is viewed as an account. And it is up to you how it's utilized. It's either recognized as debt or it's recognized as an account that has transactions tied to it. Let me go over and show you what I mean. So you'll see here within EveryDollar, credit cards can only be associated with debt. So if you're at the grocery store and you end up buying your groceries on a credit card, that has to go onto a debt load. Even if you plan to pay it off in the following month, even if it's something that you reconcile every single month, credit cards have no ability to be used in any other way or viewed as debt. Whereas if you come over here to Good Budget, you will see that you have the ability in your Accounts tab to have credit cards as an account. It is a line of credit that you can use on a month-to-month basis and pay off. That's what I do. And so you can go about buying your groceries, paying for your gas, paying for different things on a credit card and still have it appropriately come out of your envelopes, but it's tied back to the credit card instead of to your paycheck. So when you get down to it, EveryDollar assumes that every transaction you make is cash. It's only coming out of your checking account. It's only off of a debit card. And that if it's not cash paid right now on the spot, then it is something that should not be done. And really the app doesn't have the ability to be flexible enough to take in any other considerations that you might do. Where Good Budget, any transaction that you make, it could be cash from your checking, it could be off of a debit card, so through your checking, or it could be associated with a credit card. In fact, it is flexible enough to take in any type of situation that you might throw at it. How it views and how it runs its credit cards and how it ultimately allows you to reconcile on a month-to-month basis to different type of accounts are very different. I can see that this is definitely going to have to be a part 2 series because there's just so many differences between these two budgeting apps. The fourth that we were going to talk about today, I'll put in the category of how it allows you to age your money. Again, EveryDollar is tied to Dave Ramsey's baby steps, and it almost assumes you are never going to make it past baby step 2 or getting out of debt. It is structured in such a way that it assumes that any excess money you have on a month-to-month basis must be poured into your debt. And let me say this differently. I think it is very wise that, for example, the money that I make this month, we'll say March of 2021, is the money that I use to budget for April of 2021. I'm getting a month ahead with my money, with my budget. I'm aging my money 30 days. EveryDollar does not allow you to age your money. You have to identify your paychecks that are going to be coming in and that you plan for the money that is going to be received by the paychecks of that month. I guess there could be some workarounds to age your money, but it's not designed in any way to be utilized once you're out of debt, once you can start aging your money, once you can start doing some investing, once you can start doing different things with your money. This to me is just, well, it makes it so unflexible and so rigid that you have to use it in a certain fashion that although it was a budgeting app I tried to get on board with, that I tried to utilize for a few months, it just had so many philosophical differences that it's something that I couldn't continue with. EveryDollar. Good Budget allows that flexibility, and one of the key things I like is it easily allows you to age your money. So there you have it. There's 4 differences between EveryDollar and Good Budget. Again, let me know in the comments what you think of this, if it would be helpful to do a part 2 series. For me and my family, the flexibility of Good Budget makes it the budgeting app and the budgeting system that we can use. It helped us when we were in debt, it helped us as we're out of debt, and it allows flexibility that is just not found. It's just not found with EveryDollar. So while you're here on my site, I've also picked out a couple more videos for you that I think you'll enjoy. Take a look at those. And if this information is helpful for you, one, comment below. Let me know what you think of EveryDollar. Let me know what you think of Good Budget and which one you use and why you use that budgeting app. And again, if this is helpful, subscribe. Please consider subscribing.